This week on Vallo News, the coronavirus is continuing to cause problems around the world, including right here in Alabama, what it could impact on the state's economy. And construction is causing more parking problems at UM. Find out what you need to know before making the drive to campus on Tuesday. Plus, what you need to do to make sure your driver's license is real ID compliant, and why an old ID could leave you grounded the next time you try to fly. Vallo News starts right now. Hello and welcome to Vallo News. I'm Nick Norris. Thanks so much for watching. We start with developing news. After days of deliberation, a jury has found disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein guilty on 2 of the 5 counts against him in the high-profile sexual abuse case. Reporter Whitney Wilds is in Washington with the latest.
The case that launched the Me Too movement around the world has come to a close in a New York City courtroom.
The message is, this is a big day. This is a new day.
Jurors found former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein guilty of committing a criminal sexual act in the first degree involving one woman and rape in the third degree involving another woman.
With this verdict, I hope that survivors will see that in this justice system, prosecutors, judges, and juries will believe them.
The charges were based on testimony from 2 women, Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann. Actress Annabella Sciorra had testified in an effort to establish a pattern of predatory behavior by Weinstein. But the jury acquitted Weinstein on the more serious charges of predatory sexual assault involving the 2 women. He was also found not guilty of rape in the first degree against Jessica Mann. The verdict came after more than 26 hours of deliberations over 5 days. Jurors sent multiple notes to the judge asking for clarification on the charges and asking for readbacks of witness testimony. An earlier motion for a mistrial filed by the defense Monday was denied. Weinstein will be remanded into custody until his sentencing on March 11th. His publicist says his attorney will appeal. In New York, I'm Whitney Wild.
Many people were concerned that coronavirus patients could be recovering in Alabama, but state representatives and senators were quick to say no. A statement was released over the weekend saying passengers on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship that had tested positive for the coronavirus but were not showing symptoms would be quarantined at the FEMA Center for Domestic Preparedness in Anniston. Senator Shelby, Representative Rogers, and Governor Ivey all talked with President Trump multiple times before the final decision was made to send the patients elsewhere.
I want to thank Governor Ivey, Congressman Rogers, who's here today, Senator Shelby, and the President of the United States, who all ultimately literally listened to what we were trying to tell them, and that is we have a training facility. We don't have a treating facility at this time. We don't. And we want to help, but it would have not been the right thing to do. I'm convinced of that. And so I think we all better stay very focused on this situation and continue to have these discussions because we were at risk.
The Alabama Port Authority says if the deadly coronavirus keeps spreading, it could wipe out the economy and cause a recession. Authority CEO Jimmy Lyons says 4 Chinese ships normally dock at the port each week, but that could soon change. Many Chinese factories are closed because of the virus, causing backups at major Chinese ports, and he is worried about its effect on the economy.
It's like a domino effect. You know, one thing happens, causes another to happen, causes another to happen.
Before making port, all ships have to report to the Coast Guard if there are any illnesses on board. So then we as a community have an opportunity to prepare and take necessary precautions.
It's not just a China problem, it's not a U.S. problem, it's a world problem.
A surge in cases of coronavirus outside of China scaring global markets. Wall Street following the trend around the world on Monday with deep dives for the Dow and the NASDAQ among fears of a possible pandemic. Karen Kafa has the details on the latest global hotspots for the virus.
Face masks, empty tables, quiet streets, all similar to scenes in China during the coronavirus outbreak, but now in northern Italy. By Monday morning, cases there spiking to more than 200 and the largest outbreak outside of Asia. That's prompted officials to issue quarantines and suspend public events like the famed Venice Carnival, the fears taking a toll on those who rely on tourist traffic.
We usually work a lot here in San Marco. This is the cash that I made today. Like I made 10 euros. all day long, and it's something that we're not used to. Like, we're absolutely not used to this.
Economic concerns also playing out in the global markets. The Dow plunging more than 1,000 points at Monday's open after surges in cases concentrated outside of China, in Italy, South Korea, and Iran. Meanwhile, some pushback on federal plans for U.S. quarantine sites. The Department of Health and Human Services sought to use a FEMA facility in Anniston, Alabama for some passengers from the Diamond Princess cruise ship. Officials there said they're always willing to help fellow Americans, but simply weren't prepared.
You don't bring them to a facility that's not equipped to deal with their situation. That's the problem that we had.
Both Alabama Governor Kay Ivey and Senator Richard Shelby said President Trump assured them the passengers would not be headed there. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
A memorial commemorating the lives of NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna is currently being held inside Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. The service is being held just less than a month after the fatal helicopter crash that claimed both Kobe and Gianna's lives, as well as those of 7 others on January 26. More than 20,000 crowded into Staples Center to honor the Bryants, with thousands more taking it to the streets outside to show their support. Those speaking at the memorial include NBA Hall of Famers Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal, as well as Bryant's wife, Vanessa. Vanessa Bryant has filed a lawsuit against Island Express Helicopters for the deaths of her husband and daughter, Kobe Bryant, and 13-year-old Gianna. Island Express owner owned the helicopter that crashed last month, killing the Bryants and 7 others on board. The wrongful death case was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court Monday. Just as a memorial celebration for Kobe and Gigi Bryant was getting underway, the lawsuit claims Island Express is liable for the actions taken by the pilot, who was also killed. The complaint alleges he didn't properly monitor the weather or abort the flight due to unsafe conditions. No financial figures were disclosed, but the lawsuit is seeking general economic and punitive damages. A new poll shows Senator Bernie Sanders in the lead for the Democratic presidential nomination by 28%. Fellow Senator Elizabeth Warren follows at 19% of the support among likely primary voters. That appears to be an improvement for her. And former Vice President Joe Biden is right behind her at 17%. Mayor Michael Bloomberg and Mayor Pete Buttigieg trail behind at 13% and 10%. Senators Amy Klobuchar is in the single digits, polling at 5%. The American Village opened their 4th annual Festival of Tulips this weekend. 100,000 tulips were planted near the colonial-style buildings. Visitors are invited to pick tulips as well as tour the grounds at American Village. Admission to the festival is $5 on weekends and $10 during the week. If you want to take a tulip home, they are $50 each. The Village is excited to offer all of this to their customers.
Well, there's nothing really like this in the Southeast. This is, I think, the only one around here, at least in Alabama, I know that. So, yeah, and apparently there's a big market for it. A lot of people love it. So.
The Festival of Tulips is open to the public Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 4 p.m. After visiting the festival, customers can receive a discount at shops downtown Vallo as parts of Blooming Bargains. We have a list of those participating stories on our Facebook page. Traffic will be a little more congested tomorrow morning on Farmer Street. Crews will be unloading an HVAC system for the new College of Business building. Because the system is so large, Farmer Street will become a one-way street between 7 and 9 a.m. For 10 to 15 minutes in that time frame, the road will be completely shut down. The Student Government Association is hosting their town hall this week. The Junior League is coming to talk about human trafficking awareness and safety. The town hall will be Wednesday in Farmer Meeting Room at 5:30. The deadline for most scholarships for the University of Montevallo's fall 2020 semester is March 1st. Applications for all general scholarships and some others will be due, as well as a completed free application for federal student aid. FAFSA forms and scholarship applications can be found on the university website. Always more news 24/7 on our social media pages. Just search for ValloVision News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more stories throughout the week. Still ahead on ValloVision News, Justin Bieber has broken a record previously held by Elvis Presley. Find out how. Plus, want to make money through Facebook? It will only cost you a few voice recordings. And a new study finds alcoholic beverage advertisements may have a direct link to underage drinking. We'll be right back. covering our campus, our community.
And all the stories that matter to you.
This is
Vallo
Vision News. The driver's license may soon not be enough to get you through the security checkpoints at U.S. airports. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security says 2/3 of U.S. state driver's licenses are not compliant with a post-9/11 security law. The Real ID compliant identification law goes into effect October 1st. To get the Real ID, applicants must provide documentation showing their full legal name, their date of birth, their social security number, 2 proofs of addresses to their local driver's license agencies. Acting DHS Secretary says the department top priority is getting every state compliant by the deadline. If you don't already have the Real ID, official will not clear until you let you fly. A new web app is making it easier for people with special needs to make a new friend in their city. The app, Making Authentic Friendships, was developed by a woman whose brother was diagnosed with ADHD and autism at a young age. The app's focus is on getting a conversation started. It asks users for their name, age, location, and diagnosis. The app then matches people based off their diagnoses. It first launched in August of 2019 and already has users in 35 states and 12 countries. Less than 2 weeks after Justin Bieber released his new album, he's celebrating a new accolade. The 25-year-old's album Changes debuted at the top of the Billboard 200 chart. It became his 7th #1 album, making him the youngest solo artist to achieve that many. He eclipsed Elvis Presley on that honor. The King garnered 7 #1 albums in 1961, just before his 27th birthday. Bieber turns 26 on March 1st. It might have just gotten a little easier to get hot and ready donuts right at your doorstep. Starting Saturday, Krispy Kreme will start a delivery service across the country. Orders can be placed on the Krispy Kreme app or website. The only catch is you have to live within 10 minutes of one of their locations, and there's a $5 fee. Facebook will pay you to record your voice. The company is looking for select people to help improve its voice recognition tools. All you have to do is record a phrase, followed by the first name of a Facebook friend. You do that multiple times. In total, the task takes around 5 minutes. It doesn't pay much, though. You get up to $5 sent to your PayPal. Look for the Facebook survey on a market research app called Viewpoints. The name of it is Pronunciations. Still ahead, new evidence suggests a big breakfast may be the most important meal of the day for weight loss. We'll be right back.
Create your future as a social media manager, filmmaker, journalist, and so much more with a degree in communication studies and mass communication. Visit montevallo.edu/COFA for more information. You belong at Montevallo.
In this week's health headlines, alcohol ads are leading teens to drink. That's according to a new report from the Journal of Studies on Alcohol and Drugs. Researchers looked at hundreds of studies from around the world. They said there is persuasive evidence that exposure to alcohol marketing is one cause of drinking onset during adolescence and also a cause of binge drinking. A new study says enjoying a big breakfast in the morning can actually help you burn more calories throughout the day. Researchers found the number of calories burned was much higher when participants ate a bigger breakfast and a small dinner. Test results showed they burned more than twice as many calories than those who ate a small breakfast and a large dinner. Although the study showed more calories burned, researchers say this only accounts for about 15% of the total daily calories burned. A North Carolina teen took ibuprofen for a headache and nearly died. Genevieve Curtis tells us about the heroes who saved his life.
All I could see at that moment was just like blurriness and white.
Anthony Aguilar took ibuprofen for a headache Tuesday after school.
It was so bad.
He had no idea he was allergic to the medication. And before he knew it, everything changed.
I really don't remember that much.
Anthony's 2 younger brothers were home with him. Nathaniel and Nicholas realized something was wrong. One of the brothers quickly dialed 911. The other alerted a neighbor who happened to have an oxygen mask. She also happens to be Anthony's former teacher. Anthony says in his time of need, everyone was in the right place.
They weren't supposed to be here, but somehow they were. And if they wasn't here, I wouldn't be here right now.
When he woke up in the hospital, Anthony learned how serious the allergic reaction was.
They told me when I was awake that I was dead, and they did everything they could to revive me, which they did.
Usually it's the younger brothers who look up to their older brother, but after this week,
This big brother has a new admiration for his siblings.
They're my heroes for sure.
According to the FDA, ibuprofen can cause severe reactions for people allergic to aspirin. Reactions can include hive, facial swelling, and asthma. Still ahead, would you try this burger? There's no meat, just lots of French fries. We'll be right back.
At Vallo, we invest in our students' futures, providing dozens of scholarships for freshmen and transfer students based on academic merit, leadership, community service, major, and financial need. We help every student get a world-class education. Visit youbelong@montevallo.com to learn more.
Police in Huntsville, Alabama have a new fleet of vehicles to help kids learn driving and traffic laws. 3 donated go-karts are being used to teach children to drive and obey traffic signals and stop signs. Several city departments helped get the project off the ground. Huntsville PD says they will set up a go-kart driving course at community events.
The kids are learning what's going on, so when they actually get to a driving age, they have a better understanding of what the road laws are in Alabama. We want the children of the community to be able to trust police officers and look at us in a good light. We are out there to help the community. We're out there to help people. We're actually out there to teach as well.
And finally this week, if you like French fries, you're going to love this. Burger King is introducing a French fry hamburger. It doesn't have a patty, but it has plenty of fries in between 2 buns, along with mayonnaise and ketchup. It's only available in New Zealand right now. No word on if it will make its way to other countries in the future. That's all the time we have for today's show. Remember, there's always more news 24/7 on our social media pages. Just search for ValloVision News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more stories throughout the week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in to ValloVision News again next week.